Hello and thank you for watching this video today. We're here to explain the regular expression functionality that's part of Cookdown Discovery, which is part of our SCOM connector for ServiceNow suite of products. There are three products in the connector. There is Alert Sync, which is all about pushing SCOM alerts up into ServiceNow to automate the incident creation process. Then we have Discovery, which is all about populating your CMDB with configuration items from all those objects that are in SCOM. And then finally we have Mapping, which is all about mapping out application and business services, again in ServiceNow, using your existing SCOM agents. So you go from having a CI representing a database to understanding what uses that database and why. But today we're talking about regular expressions for discovery. So let's crack on. So what do we mean by regular expressions and discovery? So as you may or may not know from other videos, the configuration of Cookdown Discovery is held in what is called payloads. These are JSON in format, and they look a bit like this one here for Linux servers. So this one here, we are pushing up name, CPU core count, RAM and OS properties of the Linux server class into ServiceNow. This is what a typical payload would look like. So when we generate an example for this payload for a specific object called server01, this is what we'd get. So we'd have name replaced with server-01.cookdown.local, which is the FQDN of the machine. We've got the CPU's core count, RAM and OS. So looks good, right? What's the problem here? No need for anything else to change here. What's regular expression got to do with this? How could it help me here? Wrong. And the reason why is this guy here. So this will work. This will populate your CMDB. But if you have other discovery sources, let's say ServiceNow Discovery, for example, the name field, the expectation is it will be the NetBIOS name, not the FQDN. So if you have Cookdown Discovery with this payload and ServiceNow Discovery, you'll get duplicate CIs. So this is where regular expressions come in. So we're going to have a look at how we might change this payload. It's worth noting regular expressions was introduced from version 1.5 onwards. So here we have our payload again. I've taken out what was in name, and we're going to put in our regular expression syntaxing, RegEx and some brackets and whatnot. We've got our key, which we want to apply a regular expression to, and then we have our regular expression. So just to explain this regular expression quickly, \d matches non-numeric characters. So in our server name, obviously it will start left to right. It will come out with the words server dash, because we have an asterisk after it to say match all characters of this type. And then we have \lowercase d, which will match numeric characters. So that's the 0, 1, so it will break at the first full stop. The asterisks match all characters of each of these types. So what we're saying in English is match all of the non-numeric characters until you hit a numeric character, which will automatically break at, and then match all of the numeric characters, and if it's not a numeric character, it will break. We also have additional backslashes in here. So these are needed to escape backslash from JSON, as a backslash is a protected character. So with this regular expression and the same key, the result would look like this. Here we go, server-01. So we're good here. This payload, when used with Linux servers, will push up servers that will work with other discovery sources. Linux servers are a particularly good example here because there is not a key that represents the NetBIOS name. So you can't simply use a different key. For some classes, like Windows servers, for example, there is a key that represents NetBIOS name, so you haven't got this problem and the need for regular expressions. So there we go. That's the simplest case of using it. Let's have a look at a real example. So I'm going to go to my demo box here, and we're going to have a look at IIS-10. So here we have a payload for IIS-10 application endpoint. It all looks fine. It will create a CI for website, a CI for web server, and a CI for Windows server. If I go and create a discovery from afresh, just to show you what this would do, I'm going to select the IIS-10 application endpoint class. IIS 10 ASP application endpoint, there it is. We'll pick one of these guys. We'll skip past the keys. And here we go. Here's our payload, which I'll now validate. And we'll go next. And here you can see the issue. So TCP port is the issue. So what ServiceNow Discovery is expecting would do is simply 443. But this key contains other things. It's got a wildcard at the beginning. It's got the FQDN of the machine that this port is open on after it, and for the website class, TCP port and name are what's required for identification and reconciliation. So in other words, if you use this payload alongside ServiceNow Discovery, duplicate CIs will get created. So another case for regular expressions, where we just want this 443, we don't want the rest of it. So I'm going to cancel out of this wizard. I've already got this saved here. I'm going to modify the existing one. So 2 seconds while we get there. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So we're going to go to our sample payload exactly as it was before. Just make it a bit bigger so we can see what's going on here. We're going to add in the regular expression syntax before this key we want to modify. Whoops. Open square brackets, RegEx, or RegEx all in capitals, open brackets. And then we've got our key. At the end of the key here, we're going to put a comma in and put in our regular expression. And in this case, the regular expression I'm interested in is // to escape the backslash from JSON formatting, lowercase d plus, which I need to encapsulate in single quotes like that. And then finally, we close off the JSON formatting like this. So I'll explain what that regular expression is in just a second, but basically when the formatting is right, the syntax is correct, the syntaxing goes yellow so you can tell it's valid. So what we've done here is match all numeric characters plus. So plus means match all numeric characters until you run out of numeric characters to match. So in this case, this will match 4, 4, and 3, and we'll strip the rest of it. And that's what we've done. So if I validate this payload and go next, you will see in the example simply 443. So we've stripped out everything else. I'm going to actually update this one and then run it for real. So there we go, it's been updated. I'm going to hit run discovery, which will push up CIs from this class. There we go. And here we are, we're in ServiceNow, looking at the website class. This is what was there before from the old payload. So you can see name and you can see the websites identified by their TCP ports with the FQDN and all this stuff at the beginning. If I hit refresh, what I'm expecting to see is additional CIs appear that have the correct TCP ports. So just worth noting here, because the TCP port and the name fields are what are required for identifying a CI as unique, this will create duplicates. So in this case, we'll have to do some gardening and pull out the old ones. So it's important that if you're setting up Cookdown Discovery afresh, that you get these payloads right. And as ever, we give you a helping hand here with our payload library. So as ever, we give you a helping hand here with our payload library, which is on GitHub. Let me just show you real quick. github.com, Discovery Payload Library. So these are all payloads we've built that we know will work. And some of these will contain regular expressions. And there we go. That's regular expressions in a nutshell. The only other thing that's worth saying is the formatting of these, the actual regular expressions themselves, are .NET. So if you find any .NET regular expression builder website or explainer guide, or go to our support site, there's information there. The syntaxing there will be correct for Cookdown Discovery, because our engine is the .NET one. And that's all I had to show today. So thank you very much. Hopefully that's been useful. If there are any questions, then you can always find us hello@cookdown.com via email, our team at support@cookdown.com, and then obviously Twitter @team_cookdown. So thank you very much.